So again, you heard the announcement of the XT4K with an onboard option for IP, but we also know a lot of our customers have made very significant investments in existing EVS servers in the market. And we don't believe they should have to buy a brand new server just to build out a system based on IP. So with that, we bring out the option for those existing servers called the XIP option. So it brings the same IP capabilities to the existing investments of those servers through a gateway conversion box. So that gives us the flexibility of supporting the open standards as endorsed by the AIMS Alliance, and starting with simply 2022-6 as the first implementation on that platform. So as I mentioned in the XT4K, we also launched the XS4K. So this is in that same family of platforms, but this one comes with that onboard option like I mentioned in the XT4K a moment ago. So this gives us that onboard connectivity for IP without having to have external gateways. So this is another one of those on-fabric devices you're starting to see in the market from many vendors, and we at EVS wanted to give that flexibility, especially for broadcast centers who are focusing on new builds and new infrastructure where IP can benefit them. So the same platform here, like the XT4K we talked about, has flexibility to work in an HD production, a full HD 1080p production, or all the way up to a 4K Ultra HD production. So a flexible media server for ingest, for playback, under control for broadcast center operations with the expected reliability of EVS.
For the last 8 years, EVS has been supporting IBC TV as a main partner, providing all the technology and equipment for the production of their live TV programs. We provide all the ingest servers, playout servers, shared storage, content management, integration with post-production, and we do that again this year. But actually we wanted to go a step further and really trying to find a step beyond together with specific partners. And our partners in this case are the VRT EBU Live IP Studio project we've been embracing at the very beginning, from the very beginning 1 year ago, where the philosophy of the project is really to integrate and present fully operable IP-based production. And this is where we wanted to bring IBC in front of all the stakeholders, all the industry, showing that effectively IP works. It's not a theory; it's effectively active, and we want to show it, and we want to show it to the industry. So we did that together with VRT EBU, the Live IP Studio, and I'm really happy to have with us today Carol de Bond, who is the project manager at VRT for this Live IP Studio, who will give you an insight about the project itself and the way it has been implemented here at IBC.
So I will talk about our project that I've had the honor of managing since 1 year and a half, and of which EVS indeed has been a partner from the very beginning. I will talk about the project, what we're doing, what we've done so far, and then I will explain what we are doing here at IBC. But this is a very simple slide. To start, the real context is this. So we're swapping the SDI for IP. Why? Because SDI can only go 80 meters wide. You have only one signal per cable in one direction, which makes you bump into a lot of obstacles right away. With IP, we want to overcome it. It's a lot more scalable, agile. You can do many things that you couldn't do before, like remote production. You can send all kinds of signals over the same cable, things like that. The mission of our project is very simple and straightforward. The outcome is always very ambitious. It is to build and to operate a live TV production studio based fully on IP. That's it. Because VRT is, by the way, the public broadcaster in Belgium. We wanted to see, is it really that flexible and agile? Does it work? Is it interoperable? Can you do it with multiple vendors? All kind of questions that 1 year and a half ago we didn't have the answers for yet. It's a collaboration between a lot of vendors. Most of them who are today also in the AIMS Alliance. They started with us in the Live IP project, all delivering their own specialities, their own functionality over IP. So our first implementation started in April, and the first registration we did in July was with one camera and one playout server. Then in the second half of last year we added 3 cameras, so we had a 4-camera multicam setup. In the beginning of this year we did remote production, So, like in any studio, our project has a data center, a control room, and a studio floor. In this test, we put the studio floor 5 kilometers away from the control room, and we connected it with one single dark fiber, and it worked very nice. And we felt so comfortable that we tried to go live on air with it. So not pre-recorded, no chance for failure. We went live on air with a debate of broadcasters. So many vendors are telling us how great IP is and why you should buy IP gear. We wanted to give the voice to the broadcaster, why they think or why we think IP is necessary and how it will help us deliver the content that we want to deliver and what are opportunities and challenges. It's still on YouTube, so you can check it out over there. And we even went on air with it. So the previous one was streamed on the internet. That went so well that we decided to go on air the whole summer long for our children's channel. So every day we went live on air with a fully IP studio, and we reached, like I say, the households and people who were watching this video. So to us, that's the ultimate proof that IP is working. IP is ready to make real TV that people are watching at home. A little word on the implementation. So, as in every studio, we have a studio floor, we have a data center, and we have a control room. But we wanted to interconnect them with as few as possible of glass fibers, because that enables remote production, for example. If you put everything in the data center, you can start sharing resources between multiple control rooms and multiple studio floors, and much more. But as we want the best of breed in every functionality, we want different brands, so you need interoperability. And we wanted to reach that by using open standards. 1.5 years ago, that was SENTI 2022-6 for video, SDI over IP, AES67 for audio, PTP for your synchronization, and then for the network management, we're using SDM, and we're using the OpenFlow protocol. We've expanded this drawing. With that, I'm going to explain what we are doing here at IBC, which we are showing you. So, thanks to Nico and EVS, we will be producing 4 times per day, live on air, part of the IBC TV news program. And so, we are one fixed segment of 10 minutes in their half-an-hour broadcast, so they cut to our studio. And to do that, so we are located in the IP interoperability zone, all the way in the top corner of Hall 8. Where we have our control room and the studio floor. At the EVS booth, the first box that you encounter if you walk from this way to EVS is our data center, nice and shiny behind the glass. And then downstairs in Hall 13, in the IBC TV gallery, there's a remote control, so an extra control room to control our studio with, where they can cut our cameras and then we feed them back the program out. And to make this really tangible, this is all we need to interconnect the IBC TV control room with our data center. So 3 small fibers carrying many HD streams, all the audio, all the tally and other signalization, all the internet and file transfer, everything goes over these 3 cables. During the summer months, as a safety backup, we also had an SDI setup next to our IP, just in case, we never needed it. But the difference between also there, these 3 cables, and there the mountain of different kinds of cables was quite impressive. And to round off, we've been selected, or shortlisted at least, for the IBC Innovation Awards this year, which is very exciting. And on Sunday evening, we will find out if maybe we will have won. Okay, so by this, I'm going to stop and invite you to come and take a look. Well, at the EVS booth, of course, our data center, and in the IP interoperability zone to our studio floor and control room.
So let's have a little word on our CCAS technology. So I think most of you know CCAS technology, which is our cloud-based multimedia distribution platform that has been used in many different events, in many different environments, but which is used on a daily basis around the world to manage the distribution of multi-angles content, highlights, unseen content, immediately to bring it to the viewers and to enable them to enable the rights holders and broadcasters to expand their global offering for multimedia. So James, can you tell us a word about the new model that we have integrated into this distribution environment around CCAST?
So a good example of CCAST is that we've been allowing rights owners and other people to distribute content, but it was typically kind of a one distribution to their clients directly on their mobile devices. When we see big events, for example, like some of the places where CCAST was employed in the past, there was an emerging need of how you take that content that we bring from live venues, how we take content from broadcast centers and we move it to the cloud, and how we can create much more customizable sets of that content. So recent additions to the CCAST platform give us this notion of publication channels, where we can build very customizable subsets of the content through metadata and create very hyper-personalized channels for content on a mobile phone, on a website, other consumables where CCAST platform enables. And one of the most important parts of this now is allowing those same rights holders who moved the content to the cloud and already took benefit of creating these immersive platforms, they can now take that content, besides distributing to viewers, as you see on the left, they can also now take that content and move it to their affiliates, working on a syndication model. So within a CCAST platform, the rights holder could offer up that content to another syndicatee and use another CCAST platform to keep extending on the content and the revenue opportunities. So syndication of this live content in a very hyper-dynamic way to all the different broadcast rights holders in the ecosystem is what CCAST enables and really extends upon the distribution possibilities from live content.
Thank you. And actually the syndication approach was effectively the model that was implemented at the Euro, but which is also implemented in many different environments, like also the Champions League, and that's something that we have been doing together with a very important partner for us, which is Delta Tray. Basically, the concept of in this case of the distribution platform is to enable the content to be immediately made available into a digital media player, along with data that are effectively populated from the Delta Tray platform. So this solution will be, during IBC, presented and demonstrated at the EVS booth, so in Hall 8. But I also wanted to have someone from Delta Tray to give us an insight about their technology and the way they implement those kind of solutions to offer beyond TV experience to final viewers.
So what I can say more about is that we are basically giving experience to, as they said, to broadcaster, but at a real hand to the end users, right? So what about Delta Tray? I'd like to show you a very quick video about what we do. So the best sample that we can show, already anticipated, is probably the Euro 2016 case, in which Delta Tray and EVS work very closely to deliver probably the best experience at the moment in sport. I had some facts here that show how we really work hard in the last weeks. We deliver more than 3,000 hours of video just on digital, and we display more than 45 cameras around the 10 venues in Euro 2016. That is approximately the double of the cameras that are displayed during the Champions League matches. So just to let you know, and we group this camera in what technically we say gangs. So basically, we give the possibility to the broadcaster to have very fast and easy selection of each incidental actions. And we produce, as also managed before, around 60,000 mini clips that were ingested and distributed to all the broadcasters via the International Broadcaster Center in Paris. So at the end, I'm always pressing and stressing the fact that at the end what we are creating behind the scene is the best experience for the end user, right? So in Data Chat, what we do is basically synchronize the feed that is coming, so the video with the data. This is our solution to the market. It is one of the solutions that most of the biggest broadcasters are using at the moment. Broadcaster and also Federation. We have the official service provider for UEFA and FIFA and Olympics. Recently, our company has been acquired by Bruin Sports Capital, and they acquired 75% of the stake. And this allowed me to tell everybody that we are going to expand our business not just in Europe, but we will be more focused on US and Asia. So our operation, we will move over there soon. So this is a good moment also to talk with IBS, especially in the US market. So really, thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to talk about EVS, because I think what they're doing, especially personally from my point of view with CCast, is something amazing. It's a fantastic software, easy to use, and we experience amazing things with users.
Thank you very much, Fabio. So it's effectively we're really excited to have this demo available at the EVS booth. So we invite you to stop by the EVS booth in all 8 B90 to discover this solution, but of course all the solutions we have been talking today about. So this actually closed this presentation.